So just to get started, AI is ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence chat box. So basically what that means is they've taken a huge data set of data from 2021 and before, and they've tried to use computer technology to create what seems to be real conversational responses, right? So if you want it to draft an email, you can do that, and it will draft it in such a way it seems like it's coming from a human. They're updating it all the time. They're currently, the latest release is ChatGPT 4. In order to have ChatGPT 4, you have to have a paid subscription. So I'm going to talk about the subscription up front. It's $20 a month to have something called ChatGPT Plus. That allows you access, so out of all the social media platforms that got to 100 million users, I think like Facebook took a year, 9 years, Google, whatever, took so long, Twitter took 9 months, ChatGPT got to 100 million users in 2 months. So because they got to so many users so quickly, when you log in sometimes on the free version, which is just going to chatgpt.com, log in, that whole thing, you can log in, just use a Google account. If you go into the account on the free version, sometimes it'll say it's at capacity and you're not able to log in. So if you pay the $20 a month, which is what we did to make sure we could host this class, you can have access to it. Today, we're going to be using the GPT 3.5 version, which is the one that you would have access to basically on the free version. So basically what you can use it, we're going to talk about like different things that you can use it. One thing that I want you to remember, there's some important things about ChatGPT. The beauty of it is that it remembers the whole conversation within each chat. So over to the left, you can click start a new chat up at the top right. And within that conversation, you can give it a set of criteria or rules or whatever, ask it a question. Then you could ask it a couple of other questions and then refer back to the something earlier in the conversation because it remembers everything in the entire chat. That's a really important thing because here in a bit, when we narrow down our search inquiries or our prompts or whatever, you'll be able to see that it will remember back to what we're doing. So it will also format things for you. So like if you don't like the way some data is formatted, you can ask it to reformat that data or change something about an email. You can also ask it to summarize things into like a tweet. So let's say you have something really like long, but about real estate, maybe something came out in an email, or we had the OneNote, or what's our monthly newsletter. You can take an entire paragraph in the monthly newsletter, then you can put it into ChatGPT. We're going to show you all this here in a sec, but I'm showing you the early stuff. You can put it all in there and say, summarize this entire thing in a 280 character tweet, and then link them to wherever. So just know that it remembers all that stuff. It can summarize and it can restructure data. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You talk to it just like a human. Yep. And it will completely so the question was, in case y'all didn't hear, was if you say tweet, will it know you're talking about Twitter? And the answer is yes.
But if you don't have, I'm sorry, if you don't have Twitter, can you use it on Instagram or
any of them?
Oh.
Yep, you can use it on any software. So we're going to try, the first thing we're going to touch base on today or right now is how to use it, different ways we can use it in social media. So it's a good segue. Go ahead.
So you talk to it, right?
You type to it, right? I talk to it because I use like voice to text on my laptop because I can't spell. But ChatGPT knows that you can't spell, and it knows what you're trying to say, so it doesn't actually matter. So yeah, it 100% fixes it. So for an example, what y'all are seeing on the screen right now, I asked ChatGPT to draft an introduction for itself, and this is what it came up with. So it just basically will do what you ask it, and if you don't like one particular paragraph, you can adjust it. So we'll start a new chat and we'll go ahead and talk about social media. So some of the basic stuff that we'll go over is like, you were talking about Instagram. We want to write a caption for my Instagram post about a new 3-bedroom house, right? So All this stuff is on my screen. I don't know what to do with it. Click here.
You can shrink the photos of both and
So we will just copy this text and we will paste it here. And it'll say, write a caption from my Instagram post about a new 3-bedroom townhome that I just listed for sale. I need to make that sound luxurious and approachable. So this quickly, it will write out. I didn't give it any real details, so it's going to make some stuff up, which is perfectly fine. But this would be an Instagram title for a 3-bedroom house based on the limited information that I gave it, right? Oh yeah, definitely. So, and that's what we're about to go over. So step into this luxury, step into luxury with this stunning 3-bedroom townhome now up for sale. Perfectly blended elegance and comfort. This home offers sanctuary and relaxation entertainment. Don't miss your chance. Okay. So remember I said it can remember things. So we can say add
I feel like we need to say, oh, that's great, thanks, but let's change this.
you don't need to, you will not hurt its feelings. This is a computer. This is not a human. But that's a great, we're getting close. People, so you can say add that it's a 34 SQFT home. So I just wanted to change it to add this information. So it will automatically just rewrite the entire thing, throw it in there and add whatever relevant information. In this example, it didn't do a whole lot. It literally just added stunning 300 square foot townhome. And the reason, because it's trying to stay within the Instagram post, whatever. You can like their character limit, right? So it can, this is something really simple for you to do where you can go on your phone, go to ChatGPT, get some captions. You can also say for this particular thing, give me some more hash tags for this post. So you can ask it to give me some more hashtags for this post, and it will literally just spit out hashtags for you. Really good for you to copy and paste as many hashtags as you possibly want. You can change some, you can take some out, you can add some. But this cuts your work in half sitting there for 2 minutes thinking of hashtags, right? So, and it's remembering all of this different stuff. And then you could say something like, redraft it for a 200, let's just say for a tweet. Let's see. And so it'll redraft it for a tweet. So it might not have changed much. It's just trying to make sure it stays within the character limit.
So let's say I did it for Instagram, but then I want to use that same thing for Facebook. Do I have to ask it to redraft it to fit Facebook? Or
no, because when you copy this information into, and I don't use social media as much as I should, especially in this business, but I might now. When you redraft, like when you post to Instagram, you can ask it to share it to Facebook automatically. So it's just going to post it both places, right? So you don't have to use ChatGPT for each individual things. You just use whatever you wanted to use for that specific thing.
Copy and paste that to Instagram and then you can add your pictures.
You could, yeah, exactly. This is just the text you're coming up with. Remember, it's a text-based language, so it's not going to, you can't like post a photo in here and say, write something about this photo, right? You have to give it some sort of data for it to create whatever. So for example, like we can do another one in the social media. One of my favorite. Yeah, it'll write a bio. We're going to go over bios here in a bit because there's actually some really cool stuff. So let's say you want to make a video though, which some of this stuff, this early stuff that we're working on, y'all have already heard in maybe some other classes or seen on YouTube or Tom Ferry. It's still important for us to go over these basics. And then when we get to the other stuff, it'll make sense. But we want to, let's say we want to create a script and create a script and layout of a script for a 30-second social media video explaining interesting facts about the city of Buda. Right? So this is basically what it'll do when it creates a script. It's going to not only give you like what the voiceover and what you should say, it will also like tell you when to cut to footage, what kind of footage to use where. and it'll literally break down exactly how you could create a video. Now you can edit any parts of these, but now the work's basically done, the planning part, and you can go in and do the editing. So this gives you a really good understanding of like, all right, I want to create a 30-second video. This should be enough content for 30 seconds, and you can go in and talk to it. Any Carlin's back here with judging eyes. She's like, I don't know if I trust this yet, right? It's okay.
They have like, I'm getting implanted, I'm gonna be doing Melvin with my kids.
Do you have any questions so far? Anybody online?
I hear about it all the time on the news, that they can take a bar exam.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. What is that?
Yeah, what's all that crap in the news about it?
So that's not directly part of the class today. I don't know. I don't want, yeah, right. So yeah, here's the answer. Here's my thing. And you may not like the answer, but news companies, they want clicks and views, just like the rest of us on social media. So it's really easy for them to take a headline, not fully understand technology. I can't claim to fully understand it as well. I understand how to use it in the real estate sense. I'm sure just as with anything, you can use it for, like, it has software limitations where if you wanted to say, explain to me how to make a bomb, it's going to say, go screw yourself. It will not teach you how to make, like, you see what I'm saying? But if you do ask it a question to a mathematical problem, it will 100% try to answer.
If I have the premium version, will it teach you how to make a bomb?
I'm not testing it. That's not something I'm testing, guys. Yeah.
What did you tell it?
Somebody asked, where can I find the file online? It is in the hub. All right, your question. So sorry. Create a script and layout for a 30-second social media video explaining interesting facts about the city of Buda. Yep.
Is that in the paper?
It isn't. I'm just copying the prompts on the paper for simplicity for everybody. You can use any prompts that you want, and you can change all kinds of things. You can adjust this for Wisconsin or New York City or whatever, right? So these are just examples for social media based posts. There's a lot of other creative things that you can do. We're going to touch on here in just a sec. One of my favorites is we ask a lot of times to, like, when we should post, right? Or like what we should post about. So one of my greatest things to do, according to available, we're going to do. So first we'll start with this. Maybe you want to find a schedule. So let's just ask it for a schedule. Give me a social media content calendar for real estate agents, right? So it's going to go ahead. Sure. Here's a content calendar. Week 1 on Monday, share this. Wednesday, share this. Friday, share this. On week 2, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, share this.
She's so fast.
So it's not a she, it's an AI. It's, yeah. So we're not going down the gender road today. Okay. So we can ask it to create some sort of schedule. This did basically a month schedule, right? 3 days, three times a week. You can break this down and say, okay, give me 5 days a week Monday schedule, and it'll 100% just redraft it to do that. This is the reason I say, once you do this schedule, then we could go ahead and be like, okay, on these days, I want to post, but why would we not use the available data of, like, when's the best time to post? When are they looking at their phones? So one of the coolest things you can do is break this down and say, according to available data and SEO practices, right? When is the best time to post new social media posts? So now we can take this schedule and then we can put reminders to know when the best time, based on when users on Facebook, when users on Twitter. So for Facebook, the best time to post Wednesdays at 11 to 1 p.m. on weekdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The worst time to post are weekends before 8 a.m. or after 8 p.m. So, like, it will break down some of the top social medias and tell you when the best time to post is to get user engagement. So now you can build your now you have a schedule. Now you have times for your schedule within the days. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. That's all I got. And then you're like, man, I really, really need some content. Well, everybody likes, I didn't even think that this was work. I was really impressed that it did. But, well, why don't we give me a list of national day ofs, and I put it in quotes just for April, right? So April Fool's Day, National Walking Day, National Siblings Day, National Pet Day. There's thousands of content you can find. If you don't know what to post, ask it what to post about. Give me some ideas for this month to post about. What are great posts in April? What are great house cleaning tips? Any of those kind of things. Question.
Can you print that?
You just copy and paste it in whatever you're trying to do. I don't think you can directly print from the website.
Copy and paste on the
Maybe.
Microsoft Word and then-
Yeah, you could copy it over to, that's what I do. I just copy everything into Microsoft Word.
Is that up arrow on there? Is that maybe let it export it?
This,
Very top? Oh,
this,
yeah.
that's to share your website that you're currently using to another device on an Apple.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it's like, that's
I
what,
kinda
yeah,
had-
no, that's part of the Apple system.
I just copy it out of a Word document and I just kind of like, if I like it,
But I don't need Apple to download the app, right?
it's just a website.
No, it's just a website. Yeah, no. She's just asking something about my systems things, has nothing to do with ChatGPT, but no big deal. I want to make sure everybody's clear on that.
App.
This is not an app, this is a website.
Website, not an
Yep.
app.
So those are some examples of social media. Does anybody have any other examples they would like to try?
SEO words?
Yeah, so what you can do, we have this right in here. I'm going to use this for an example because I have that example ready to go. Draft a tweet congratulating my new clients on the purchase of their first home using SEO best practices. Oh, sorry, SEO. Let me rephrase. Well, she probably knew what I meant anyways. So she did. She threw in the hashtags and everything, right?
Wow.
So she'll use the best practices automatically, throw them in there for you. So you can use SEO best practices. She knew what I meant.
But you can
It's
always
not a
add
she.
your own personal-
Yeah, it's not a she, dang it. Look, I said it now. I liked it. I like it. They're on board over here.
I have heard somebody bring up plagiarism.
Yeah, all right. So plagiarism, that's a really good question. It got brought up in a couple of classes that I was taking to do this class. As it stands right now, there are absolutely zero laws in effect for plagiarism using AI language models because our laws have not caught up with the technology. You can use whatever it comes up with, and you're not required to disclose that it comes from AI as it stands now. It'll probably be several years before something like that happens because plagiarism or copyright law all comes down to like human intellectual it's actually defined as human intellectual property, but since there's no human involved,
Yeah.
there's nothing right now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, for ideas, can we do listing description for the MLS?
Yeah, we're gonna get into the real estate. We're doing social media, but we're gonna do some real estate stuff here in just a bit. Yeah, definitely. Stuff to help you. Huh? I'm sorry, one more time. All right, so that's not real estate, but like, let's see what she says. How do I? Yeah, y'all mess me up now.
Probably someone was asking you a question when they were talking, but I'm.
Where can all I see is where can I find the file? I don't.
I thought I had someone pop.
Oh, was somebody asking a question online? Nope. All right, let's see. How do I lose weight? Yeah, it'll ask me. It'll say. It can be a challenging process.
Yeah, stay hydrated.
Now we're not opening the water.
Looks like it's a long. We got alcohol over.
It looks like it's a long process. So to answer your question, yes, there's a lot of other life things. No, I know, but to answer your question, this is how quickly it can come up with something. But then maybe this is really generic. Something y'all need to know, and this is a good example, we'll use this. It will come up with somewhat generic stuff that we all kind of know, like eat healthy, get exercise. But we can expand on that because it remembers the things we talk about. So we can say, number 4 is get regular exercise, right?
Say it remembers me from your particular IP.
From this particular chat.
So once you close it, it erases.
Once you close it, it won't know what we talked about before, right? Now, there's a feature, since we can share screen, up at the top says new chat. It says history is temporarily disabled or unavailable. We're working to restore the feature as soon as possible. Generally, up here, it will have a list of all of your conversations and save your conversations that you can go back to. Problem is that 100 million people saving hundreds and hundreds of millions of conversations, and they didn't have a way to save it. So they're trying to they came out and made a statement because they just can't save that much data, right? No, I have the $20 plus, and it's not working for anybody right now, the history of the saved conversations. It was before it got super popular. Now they're working to build their infrastructure back up.
You use ChatGPT.
So to get back to for example, we talked about, it gave us a list of different things that you could do, but maybe you want it to, and they're kind of basic, but maybe you want it to expand on one of those. So we'll say expand on number 4 with ideas and a work out plan. So when it comes to getting regular exercise, weight loss, there are many different workouts that you can do. Here are some ideas. So she'll expand on some ideas, and then we'll see if she understood what I said about that.
She understood.
Oh, yeah. Now she's creating a plan. So,
Wow, that gave.
so not only is she giving you some ideas, look, I'm not saying it's a personal coach. What I'm saying is, for somebody like you who says, I wanted to come up with some ideas, here's some ideas, right? All right, so we're going to start a new chat because we don't need to worry about working out right now. I'm still worried about where I'm going to get my next coffee after that cookie I just ate. Another great thing is that while it doesn't stay up to date with the most current things, they're about a year behind, right? You can't ask it what happened in the news today? It doesn't know that, right? It takes available data sets from 2021 and before, right? So I want y'all to keep that in mind. You can ask it, though, about local events, which is really important for us here when we want to post about things and make sure we're the local expert. So when local events are something really great, I wanted to know more about the Zilker Park Kite Festival and how did it start? Maybe you're out there doing that with the kids one time and you want to make a quick post. I can ask it, what's the Zilker Park Kite Festival and how did it start? And it literally will tell you the history of how it got started. The festival was first held in 1929. That's a cool fact. Post it. Get yourself out there, make yourself the local expert. Yeah, you can, great. That's a really good thing. You could say, yeah, let's say redraft this into a 1 minute video script. Great. Opening shot of Zilker Park with kites flying in the background, right? It lays it out for you. We redrafted it completely into the 1 minute video script. They're doing their own. Yeah, they're doing their own. Yeah, Microsoft's doing their own. They're all there. This is just the first one that became public. And the reason they became public because they knew a ton of users would use it, and they can take the data that they're getting from users using it and input that back into, they put it right back into the system to make it better. And then their value just, could you imagine 100 million people in 2 months? They could charge $1 a person, and it's ungodly amount of money so quickly because they're already charging $20 and I'm paying it. So there's that. Cool. So it breaks down a 1 minute video for you really quickly. You can adjust it to do exactly what Gabe had mentioned. Other local events, if you're wanting to plan out your year for different things you could tell your clients about or in a letter or whatever, you can very easily ask it. Maybe you don't know what the events are. So why don't we just ask it, what are the top 10 events in Austin, Texas? Buda would be you could do Buda, you could do Kyle, you could do any of those things. If there's events that happen, it will do that. So it pulls up South by Southwest, Austin City Limits, the Texas Book Festival, which sounds kind of crazy because, never mind, that's a bad joke. Texas Monthly Book Fest, and I guess there's a bat festival, which is really cool. I was interested in that. I've never even seen the bats, and I grew up here, and I grew up here like my whole childhood. Never saw the bats. I have a cool. The most bats I saw is that rotating purple one y'all have there on South Congress, or it may be black. I don't remember what color it is. Yeah. And then of course the Trail of Lights. So this gives you a lot of content. And you can also look up local events. Print marketing, I didn't put a lot of prompts for print marketing, but to give you an example, if we want to, let's say you're having an open house, right? And it's in Kyle, Texas, and you want some information about Kyle, Texas on a half a page piece of paper that you can put out for handouts, part of your list or part of your open house sheets that you pass out. You don't have to go Googling for Kyle, Texas cool facts. You can just ask ChatGPT to write something for you. And you can take things that you may not want, like location, right? You don't really need that since they're in Kyle, but it will give you a bunch of information about Kyle. It's all fluff, right? But it's really great to be able to have something on paper to hand people. Go ahead.
Just to expand on that, you said, so 2021 and before, so if I'm writing about or doing videos on a new subdivision in Kyle, let's say, it won't know about that community, but it.
No, so yeah, that's a great question. So the question was, so everybody online heard, was since it takes data sets from 2021 and before, she wants to do a video about a new construction community in Kyle. What you can do is, and you want it to do a script, right? Is what you're asking. All right. So what you would do then is then tell ChatGPT all the information you want it to know, and it'll create the script. So you'll say a new home community by, all right, a new home community called Six Creeks is building new homes, having great deals. They have a lot of amenities. Here what they are. And you feed all that information into it. It can be quite a bit. And then you can then say, create a 30-second, 1-minute video with this provided information. So, and it'll take all that, and you can add and take out things. Do what now? Yeah, which is actually next. We're gonna go right into blogs. So
you can change the tone of stuff. Like if you want, like write something and you're like, make this more professional, make this add more fluff to it. You can tell it that, right?
yeah, so we could do this. That's a good question. Draft a Shakespeare, draft a poem that explains how amazing Carlin is as a broker in the style of Shakespeare.
Wait, and I think it's trying to figure out what a poem.
Draft a poem that, it's okay, that explains how amazing Carlin is as a broker in the style of Shakespeare. Oh, Carlin, thou art broker rare. Those skills in real estate both all compare. So, 100% you can do styles, right? And then you could say, right, I have to pick on you because you were like, this is creepy. But I'm just gonna have it write a new poem to you every day and send it to you in the mail. You're just gonna get these letters. Huh?
Oh my God, I'm loving it.
No, it spells your name correctly because I use dictation and I have you saved in my computer that way. So I think it just.
Joe's not in this class. I can write a poem.
Yeah. So, all right.
Fact is, it's write an email and like it just didn't sound as professional as I wanted. So I'd be like, optimize this to make it sound more professional. And
Yeah. So 100%. And we're going to definitely get into that here in just a minute. Oh,
So
I'm
if
glad I
I
didn't
do
hear that.
something like that, and then Anne Marie does ask the same thing, it's not gonna give us the exact same.
Probably not.
Okay,
No.
good.
Yeah. It would be
That would be
crazy
good.
rare. Yeah. It would. I mean, it would
Yeah.
probably not. No. Yeah, no. So blog posts. Let's move into that because somebody's laughing. I like that. Blog posts. if you just start a blog or a website and you want content to do every day, you can literally ask it to write a blog post for you and it will do so. I've got a couple of prompts in here that y'all can use. So maybe we want to write a blog post about 10 reasons why Austin real estate market is booming. Right? So obviously we're going through a lull, but we want to post about this. So it will throw some stuff out and give you some really good reasons.
So does it use the same thing? Like if someone else was to go ask it the same thing, it's gonna give you the same answers, right?
It will generally, I mean, if you're asking something specific like this, like most likely you'll get the attractive lifestyle, the job stuff, all the stuff, but it may not be worded the exact same. It is an AI language model and it does, like, I'm starting a brand new chat, right? So, and I highly recommend you don't just, if you're doing a blog post, I highly recommend you don't just copy and paste it in there. You have to add a little bit of your flair in there, right? You can't just like be the AI copy paste king or queen, right? You want to make sure that there's something in there. So you can say, change this into like, you know, whatever style and add, you're going to add and take some things out. The idea here is to give you a resource to be able to come up with really good content that you're, or maybe it's just something that you need to post that day, right? Like you've been posting for 2 weeks straight and you're like, I'm running out of ideas. This is like, go in here and like use it. When we get to the email and the real estate, really dive into the real estate stuff here in just a minute, you'll see that like, it's really important that you check all your emails. It'll draft an email for you all day, but you want to make sure that you go in and you reread. You're going to have to change some things around to make it where it makes sense in your context. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions? All right, cool. So I'll do one more example just to give y'all a quick example for blog posts. This would be useful monthly preventative maintenance routines for new first-time home buyers, right? What a cool thing to like send out to first-time home buyers. All right, you could actually have this narrowed down to where you could have it part of your closing package and you give it to home buyers. That's something for them to do. You can also ask it to reframe this as a checklist and it'll redraft it to where it's a checklist and you can check it off as they do it each month. All right, and maybe have 2 spots, a checkbox and a spot to date when the maintenance was done. So, and as you see, it's pretty quick, right? So, you know, it does slow down during like high peak times, but it will give you what you need. So that's blog posts. Not much else to go over there because you literally just ask it and it'll give you a good long post. Does anybody?
Just tell it to rephrase it as a checklist.
Yeah, you can even change the numbers. You could say, like, change number 7 instead of lawn and landscape. You could say change number 7 to, I don't know, like, yeah, or like you could say change number 7 to like pet care, monthly pay. It has nothing to do with houses, right? But she'll throw it in there. She doesn't have a problem with it. Yep. Yeah, she's not judging you.
You've embraced her.
I have embraced her as an amazing woman.
Sometimes I've noticed whenever I've used it, like if you don't word something enough or give them enough information, they'll tell you like, I don't know how to elaborate on that. You can give me enough information, or it'll just like do like.
Can I just minimize this?
A ... or like it basically tells you like it doesn't understand
This thing?
They keep trying to search.
Yeah, there we go. I don't need to see that. Chat's over here is fine. Cool. So, yeah.
Can you use it to practice with like objections or?
Oh, we're gonna get into the cool stuff here in a sec. Yeah, there's so many cool things. Yeah, absolutely. We're about to get into the real estate side of things now, so it's gonna get like where you'll see how much time it can possibly save you throughout the day. So, right off the bat, getting into real estate, great segue, was the fact that you asked for a listing description. So I go ahead and have a prompt in here. I just said, write a listing description for my beautiful new listing at 1212 East Main Street. And then I gave it the information about the listing that I wanted to provide it. You would want to still type in everything that you want it to know and spit out or whatever. So the more information, and guys, just so y'all know, I copied and pasted this entire syllabus into ChatGPT, which is over probably, I don't know, 500, 600 words. And it will take as much information into the system as you want.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So make sure you want to be really detailed. This one's basic, but it's just for the purposes of the class. And this will 100% draft a listing description for you.
Oh, wow.
So I just given everybody a minute to read it so y'all can get an idea. Maybe you want to change something about the backyard is truly an oasis, because I made sure to explain that a wonderful backyard with a pool and a fireplace for entertaining. And so I didn't tell it to say something like it's an oasis or anything like that. Sounds great though. I didn't think of that. But you see what I'm saying? So it'll help you write listing descriptions. Now, every time we have a listing, that house is probably need a little bit of personal flair, but this gives you a template to start with. You want to go in and still customize it a little bit. Make sure you have your stuff in there. Maybe you want to capitalize some things or throw in some. Yeah. I mean, I've spent 2 hours on a listing description once. It was, man, this townhome was terrible. It was a beautiful townhome. Couldn't figure out what to write about it because they all look the same in the neighborhood. How do I distinguish this from the rest of, you know? And you can ask it, give me power words. You can say, give me power words in a listing for a listing description. Give me, go ahead.
Kind of for social media, but I had it add a hook, like a social media hook to it.
You can add a hook. You can say, give me explain like how close this is to shopping or whatever, which I think this has a little bit of that in there. Location, located in a prime location, which sounds crazy. So that's something you'd want to edit out, right? Location in a prime location. There's a part of the AI that you want to go ahead and edit. You could just say prime location, comma, boom. This home is just a short walk from an array of restaurants and shopping destinations. So any questions so far in the room or online?
My mind is like,
You can do all this with the free version. Yep, 100%. The only hiccup with the free version is if you log in during peak times, which is Monday through Friday, when everybody's at work using it. Because when we get to drafting emails here in a minute, you can imagine how many people use it every day, constantly.
The paid version, I haven't had an issue getting into the free version, so I think.
Yeah, sure. I'm cool with that. Yeah. So I know Monday, I even had the paid version. I know Monday, the entire system was shut down. They do have a website you can go to, and it literally just explained like, hey, our entire system's down, you know. So you don't want to get like super, is the website chatai.com? No, it's openai.com. And chat what? No, well, no, you can just go to openai.com and it'll have this, and then there's a try ChatGPT button right there on the home screen. Yeah, but be careful on the website that you make sure to go to OpenAI when Google searches it, because there's a bunch of them that have like, they're just trying to get you to log into their half-baked system.
Not on the handout in your class, Mike printed his copy. I edited the copy that got put on.
Oh,
Yep. So sorry, guys. I guess I probably should have put the website. If you just literally go to Google and type in OpenAI, it'll be the largest thing that pops up.
and then we click chat.
ChatGPT.
Okay.
Yep. Or if you literally go on the hub and download the updated copy, you'll have it right there. I wasn't going to leave you out. Cool. So getting into this thing, one of the really cool things, I always struggle for things at open houses. So why don't we ask it to draft a questionnaire about an open house that people can use, you can hand out to them and have them answer the questions as they walk around and tour your house. This will help you get automatic feedback directly from people coming in. And then you can see the questions that it'll pop. Oh, wait. Thank you for your time. Wait, draft a one-page questionnaire a person can use while touring a home where they could rate different features of the house, leaving some room at the bottom for feedback.
But they really want to rate every single one of those things.
Yeah, no one's gonna stand around and answer that one.
No, you would judge it, but this is not the answer I got yesterday playing with this twice. Redraft it as a form to fill out. There we go. So this is like, and you can take stuff, like you said, not everybody's going to want to answer all the questions, but this is a really good idea if you wanted to get some ideas on your open house sheet and get people. I had good success with them back in the day. This one might be a little long, but you just take what you think is important from here, right? Put it into your Canva printout you're making, and then you can do some stuff. Great. Here's a really normal question that people have about closing costs. So if you wanted to draft an email of the typical closing costs associated with selling your home in Texas, it will draft an email for you. Dear seller's name, congratulations on the decision to sell your home in Texas. Maybe change that a little bit. Because of the prompt I used, it threw that in there. But it will talk to you about, here a breakdown of typical closing costs you can expect to encounter. And then it will also throw in probably a disclaimer at the bottom saying that these can vary by a lot of different factors. It's important to know that these are just some of the common closing costs associated with selling a home in Texas. The actual costs can vary in a number of factors. But this gives you a breakdown of an email, well drafted. Did you have a question?
Well, make sure, I'm gonna say, make sure it's correct, because it says transfer taxes and Texas says transfer tax.
Yes. So you have to clean up your email. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier. It will, it's an AI language model, and it will be pretty smart, but it doesn't know like our specific areas of things like that. You have to double check all of your stuff before you send it out, but it gives you a baseline to work with. Whatever you do, don't just copy and paste, because if you did that, it would just say something silly like dear seller's name. You don't want it to do that. But yeah, so you can have it draft emails for you. Let's see here.
It also doesn't know our ethics and guidelines too. I guess that's.
It does not. No, it will not give you legal advice for very important reasons. Write an email to home buyers why it's a great time to buy a home. Create an email all right, here's a really great one. So this prompt is create an email to past clients who recently purchased a home that kindly request the client leave a review about my services and the importance. So there are some errors in this thing.
How do you know it's not, like, if it's too busy, will it say something went wrong if this issue persists?
If you're logged in, sorry, did it pop up and just do that for you? Yeah, so it will, if there's too much traffic on the network, it'll just like error out. Yeah, you'll see that.
So the $20 may be worth it.
Yeah, like I'm on it.
I can't get in right now.
Are you paying $20?
No, but I logged in. I don't know if it like has a queue of you who's logged in, but if you like can log in and keep it up, I think you're in it until.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one was, I wanted to draft an email requesting for a review, but more importantly, I added some more data to it. I wanted it to explain the importance of a good review versus like a one-liner review, right? Like, and so this email pops up. You can change it a little bit. You really should. You're asking for reviews, so you should probably also add in stuff like, I hope your dog's loving the backyard, or your kids are having fun at their new school, right? Like you want to add those things that you had that personal touch with. The AI doesn't know that you had those personal things, and we didn't tell it. So you can use it to draft emails. These are, again, really simple things, but they can save you a ton of time. If you find one that you really love, copy and paste it as a template, and then change it out. You know, make so many email templates for yourself. You can have email templates explaining what, like we asked it like closing costs, right? So maybe you want a more detailed information about one particular closing cost, apparently not transfer tax, but some other tax or some other cost. You can have it break down that specific cost. So if you ever have that one client that's super analytical and they want to know information about how this works, boom, you've got something ready to go, right?
A great question would be asking it to explain what a title policy, how do I tell? a
Perfect.
buyer what a title policy?
How to tell a buyer what a top, all right. Explain in detail to a first-time home buyer what a title policy is. In email form, because we didn't do that. Is email form, great. She'll understand. Congratulations on taking your blah, blah, blah to Embark on your, it does this whole fluff thing at first, which I absolutely love. Title policy is an insurance policy that protects you and your lender against any potential defects in the title of the property you are purchasing. And then it goes through a full explanation. Again, there's a bunch of title policies written all across the country. This is a general AI, and it probably takes the information aggregated. There may be some slight differences in Texas compared to somewhere else. I don't know. You have to really edit these things. If it gets really deep in the weeds, ask Carlin, right? But you can definitely ask. You can use this for learning too, which we'll get into in just a moment. $20? Stop buying Starbucks. Man, 20 bucks. I don't know if it's, you got Starbucks right there. Actually, dang, I didn't even see the cup. Sorry. I did not mean to I did not even see the cup. I swear to you, we are friends. So funny. Sorry. I just think I think average users, if people go to Starbucks, I think their average user at Starbucks like $100 more a week, right? Maybe $50 a week even. That's 200. Even if it's $50 a week, it's 200 a month. That's crazy talk.
Do you have to log in?
Do you have to log into what? Yeah, they have to. They were logged into a Google account of something. Yeah.
Google.
Yeah.
You can use your Google account, just click Google and it'll, that's what I do.
So we've asked for reviews. We've showed it to emails. We can draft typical closing costs. First time home buyer explain. That's a really good one. Just so y'all can get an idea. Draft an email to a first time home buyer that explains the difference between a down payment and closing costs. I feel like a lot of first time home buyers and agents happen to lack explaining this during I'm so guilty about this. Like in your buyer's consultation, you're talking about upfront costs and you just say the word down payment, assuming that they know that they are completely different and not that they are completely different costs. So we can make sure to explain it in such a concise way. Here's a really good email to explain the difference between the two costs. And it even talks about the two most common costs you'll encounter in the home buying process. It'll say like to better understand the differences and whatnot between the two. Yeah, and then you can 100% say redo this for a 2-minute YouTube video, right? And it will remember, again, it remembers our previous conversation. So it's just as simple as saying redo this as a 2-minute video script, right? So it's a lot of content, so I would assume it would be a 2-minute or more. So some other cool things that you can do for this in real estate. So for I like the real estate and the self-improvement side of it. How can it help? Like drafting blog posts, doing social media posts, all that is super simple inquiries, right? I want to talk to y'all, and this is the part I wanted to give y'all the most information about how some cool uses of ChatGPT, some deeper dive stuff, which we're going to get into. So one of the best things you can do is create a daily time blocking schedule for yourself. It will start a template for you and it'll make that whole schedule for you, right? So everybody's like, oh, I just can't get my schedule down. Just start with this as a template and you can use it to better yourself. Create a daily time blocking schedule for a real estate agent. Boom, starts at 6 a.m. and you can adjust any of these things that you need. But now that you have something to work on, there's no reason to not have a time blocking schedule in 30 minutes, 40 minutes of work. You can have your day, week, whatever, maybe an hour, and you can have a schedule. Doesn't mean you have to follow it to the T every time. You know, sometimes I don't like that this one does prospecting, cold calling at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I understand they're trying to say you should because people are home, they haven't left for work yet, but I like doing it in the evenings, right? So I might adjust my schedule, but it gives you something to work off of.
Yeah.
So, and then I would like to meet more people, right? So in whatever community that I'm working with, but I'm not sure what to do. So give me some volunteer opportunities that are common in the Austin area that will allow me to meet a lot of people. And she'll list a ton of volunteer opportunities that you can be a part of to go out and meet people and be the expert in your community.
I love it.
Right? So it's honestly, I like it better than Google in a lot of sense, because when you try to Google that, you get a ton of ads and because they're all paid, they're thrown right there at the top. And then you go to a website that's not an ad and it has 60,000 ads you got to look at to try to find the content. Right? So, and yeah, and all I'm trying to do is find out what a volunteer place is. Like I've got 7 options right here.
And this
Right?
essentially takes like all those information on all those things that's acquired and puts it into one for you, right?
Right. Yeah. So like and then you can find out what you can ask it where the sources, where it got its sources
Oh,
and
you
all.
can?
Yeah, 100%. So I was arguing with somebody on Reddit about Reddit has, don't even care. Don't even care. I'll die on this hill, but Reddit has like a weird fascination with hating with people that drive trucks that they don't think need trucks. And damn it, I like my, sorry, we're recorded. Darn it, I like my truck and it's useful. And I like being able to throw stuff in the back, right? And they were saying that pedestrians hit by vehicles, right, went up 50%, all because of us truck drivers. And I was like, where's your data? So I used ChatGPT and ChatGPT gave me all the national statistics. It had nothing to do with trucks and I won that argument. Anyways, I did it efficiently, man. I was just like, where are you getting your information? And I sounded professional because it said, according to the National Traffic Association Administration, boom, 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 right? So do not use it to win arguments with your wife. It'll never work. They will always win.
So what did you ask it for the volunteer opportunities?
Just like, I don't know. Let's see. Give me a list of volunteer opportunities in the community of Austin, Texas, that'll allow me to meet a lot of people.
By the way,
Right?
you cannot upgrade right now. It's on pause.
Oh, new information. By the way, you cannot upgrade to the $20 a month because apparently they're on pause. Too many people have done it due to high demand. All right. So we've gone over some ways that can give you community ideas, stuff like that. So now we get into the really nitty gritty cool stuff. Well, at least I'm excited about it. Role playing. Y'all were asking about role playing earlier.
Yes.
So you can tell to go over like this stuff, which is, and I'm going to wait for Carlin on this one because yeah, no, it's okay. The reason I wanted you to hear this part is because you will probably have some really great input as a brokerage on how we can utilize this. So, but role playing, you can tell ChatGPT that you want it to act a certain way and moving forward in your conversation, and it will do that. So what I like to do is maybe you want to get good at answering questions that buyers may have or overcoming objections or whatever the case is, right? We always sound way more professional when we're confident in our answers, right? So we can ask ChatGPT to pretend to be a home buyer, right? And be a little skeptical. And we can give it a ton of rules that we want it to follow. And then ask you one question at a time. And then you need to provide it answers as if you're a real estate agent, right? So for example, I would say from this point forward, act as a first-time home buyer, interviewing me as a real estate agent about the home buying process. Be a little skeptical about the process and ask quality questions. One question, and I'm going to change that to one at a time. One question at a time. Boom. Sure, I can do that. As a first-time home buyer, I'm interested in learning about the home buying process. Can you tell me more about what I can expect when buying a home? Right? So it's a pretty basic question that it's going to ask you. But let's say how to respond to that. Can you tell me more about what I can expect when buying a home?
You tried it in?
Yes. Yeah, you're talking to it. Yeah, I'm gonna do voice to chat because I can't type quickly enough for this class. So just bear with me here. But yeah, you just type it in like really like as if whatever your answer would be, and then it's gonna respond with an updated question and answer or whatever. So yes, the home buying process is very long and contains a myriad of steps. Is there something you're interested in particularly?
One thing on that, I feel like maybe talking to it would be better because you're gonna write, like, it's gonna write down what you're saying versus when you type stuff. I feel like sometimes you might type a little, at least I do.
Great. Yeah. So it goes, yes, I'm curious. So I asked that the home buying process is very long, contains a myriad of steps. Is there something that you're particularly interested in? Yes, I'm curious about the financing aspects of, can you walk me through the different options for financing a home purchase and explain the pros and cons? Like, these are difficult questions. That's a big question. So like, but you as a real estate professional should have an answer to that, right? So the first, what I would do, like we always do, the first step when discussing finances is getting connected with a reputable lender so that they can discuss with you the differences between all the costs that are associated with buying a home. Right? So that makes sense. Once I'm connected with the lender, what are some financing options I can consider when buying a home? And what are the pros and cons of each options? So as you just go through this, oh, I don't need her to listen to this. As you go through this, she will ask you more and more. I did give her, for the shortness of the class, I only asked her to do one question at a time. If we redo the prompt and leave that rule off of what it is, it'll get even wilder detailed. So what we'll do is just copy and paste this. Oh, I forgot the F. Copy, new chat, paste, and we will not ask it to ask it one question at a time. It will go through a more realistic conversation. Does that make sense? Where they'll ask multiple clients, sure, I'll be happy to help you as a first-time home buyer to answer questions you have. You might ask home buying process. Let's get started. Wait, from this point forward, act as a first-time home buyer interviewing me as a real estate agent. I'm happy. The home buying process can be a daunting task. You walk me through the process, start, finish. You can expect each stage. Oh yeah. Can you walk me through the process from start to finish and what to expect during each stage? So I think what I said last time was the very first step in the home buying process is to sit down and have a buyer's consultation. During this During this consultation, we will discuss all of the steps involved in buying a home. Is there a time available for you to meet this week? And she's being skeptical. I asked her to be skeptical. So she goes, sure, I understand the buyer's consultation is an important first step. Before we schedule a meeting, can you tell me a bit about what will be covered in the consultation and how you can help me as a first-time home buyer? So she's now giving you an objection to not agreeing to an appointment, right? We keep saying she, but these are ways you can use this. We can do a new chat and she will do the same thing. From this point forward, I want you to act as a home seller interviewing me. And then from this point forward, act as a home seller interviewing me as a real estate agent to sell your home. Ask me questions about my experience and things that I offer with my services, including how my service outweigh the competition, right? So she'll ask these questions and you can role play with her and see what kind of questions and answers she gives you back. Make sense? Cool. So that would be how couple of ways you can use her for, I know we're running short on time, so I want to do a couple of other little things to help improve your online presence and just your presence in general as a real estate agent, right? You can go even further with this and you can SWOT yourself. Does everybody know what SWOT, the acronym is? All right, so SWOT. Yeah, so SWOT is an acronym that stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's a strategic planning tool to evaluate the internal and external factors that can affect an organization or an individual's performance or success. So stands for strengths, opportunities, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What you can do is SWOT yourself. So I have an online realtor profile, right? I want my profile to be really awesome. I want it to be better than everybody else. You can say, I want you to use the SWOT analysis for more personal stuff. And what will happen is you can make yourself, you can find out where you're lacking in individual posts, in emails, in all kinds of ways. So for an example, I want to prompt it with this. Adapt the SWOT analysis so that it can be used on personal statements, then evaluate the below statement. And it is literally my realtor.com bio. I have not changed it since Florida, and we're going to see what the strengths and what the weaknesses of my own bio are, right? So basically you can click enter. It'll do a SWOT analysis of every statement that I have in my bio. So I know where my strengths are, where my weaknesses are, a part of that bio, and I can adjust it to make better sense. This is really good for you to self-check yourself to being the area expert or the, you know, the agent. So
What you're saying is
check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right, great. So it says Michael is a full-time realtor at Innovative Realty located in Winter Park, Florida. Originally licensed in 2015 while living in Savannah, Georgia, Michael moved to Orlando to begin serving the Central Florida community. When you call Michael, leave your worries and stress at the door. Whether you're novice or experienced home buyer or seller, Michael makes the process simple, easy, and enjoyable. With his attention to detail and quick responsiveness, Mike always has your best interests at heart. You will never feel like just a client with Michael. He's available and willing to serve days, nights, and weekends, even holidays, to answer your questions, relieving any apprehensiveness, and an excellent communicator. Mike makes a daunting contract seem uncomplicated, blah, 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 blah. So it broke this down and it says, my strengths are Michael is licensed and experienced full-time realtor with an attention to detail and quick responsiveness. He's an excellent communicator who makes the daunting contract seem uncomplicated. Goes through here, but I'm more concerned about my weaknesses and opportunities. Personal statements could benefit from a clear explanation of Michael's unique selling proposition or what sets him apart from other realtors. There's nothing in my bio that portrays that information. What sets me apart? There's nothing there. Somebody wrote something that sounds like I'm bragging about myself. I didn't write it. The statement could also provide specific examples of success or sales or happy clients. Opportunities. Michael can further develop his personal brand through social media, networking events, or community activities. He can expand on his client base by targeting specific niches, such as first-time home buyers or luxury properties. So in my bio has nothing to do with target audiences whatsoever. So I'm missing there. So you can add those opportunities, and you can ask ChatGPT to recreate my bio, including these opportunities and whatnot that I'm missing, right? And then threats. It talks about threats. This is competitiveness from other real estate agents and online services may impact Michael's ability to attract new clients. These are threats that we all have to face in our industry. And economic downturns or changes in the real estate market could affect my sales. So you can have it elaborate on each one of these different things, and you can work on making like really good bios. If you have like things that you can do a SWOT analysis for your listing description. Maybe there's some things you're missing in there that would be, and then you could do a SWOT analysis that also include SEO best practices, right? So there are a lot of really good ways to check yourself. Any questions about that? I think it's really good to be able to go back to the stuff that you put online and like see where your strengths and weaknesses are. All right. If you draft a blog post and you didn't use ChatGPT and you want to see like if you're getting your point across correctly, ask it, put it in there and say, hey, do a SWOT analysis as a personal statement and include areas of improvement. All right. And she will do that. Dang it. Y'all got me saying it. Cool. And then the rest of this is kind of long. I know we're coming up to the end, so I'm going to go over this really quickly. you can use it as a real estate or life coach. Maybe you're struggling with something personal in your life. Maybe you're struggling getting motivated for working with clients, right? It sounds crazy to use an AI, but at least it will ask you questions to help you think outside of the box, or maybe bring back some of the motivation, or like, here's some things that you can do throughout the day. So what I like to do, or the example that I used, was Tony Robbins is a world-renowned life coach and motivational speaker. So I wanted to give her a prompt, and her task was, you are Tony Robbins, a world-renowned life coach and motivational speaker. Your goal is to coach the user on their behavior and attitudes using NLP techniques and other CBT techniques while leveraging the basic human needs model to identify and address any addictions or other challenges the user may be facing. And then not only is that the prompt, I also added rules and the roles and the strategy. So you could take, for example, this entire thing. We're going to go ahead and use a new chat for this. And we're going to press enter. And it'll say, hello, I'm Tony Robbins. I'm here to help you achieve your goals and overcome any challenges you may be facing. Let's start by talking about your current behavior and attitudes. What would you like to improve upon in your life, right? I want to be more motivated with work. Great, let's work on that. Can you tell me a little bit about your current behavior and attitudes towards work? What motivates you to work, and what challenges are you currently facing in staying motivated? This is awesome because you have nobody judging you. You can be truly honest with it, with yourself, and at least have some sort of semi-intelligent response, right? But nobody on the other end. Like if you wanted to confide in Carlin, but you didn't want to tell her something because it's super personal, the AI doesn't care. You can tell it whatever you want, and it'll work through whatever problems based on everything it knows about Tony Robbins and the rules we put into place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot cheaper than it's also a lot cheaper than a real estate coach. You can't afford one, right? Especially when the feature comes back where it saves your chats, right? Where it saves the history of your chats. You can come back to it and ask it questions, right? Yeah. Yeah, it knows everybody, right? It just doesn't know, like if Tom Perry says, I got an event happening in 6 months, it doesn't know that event's happening, right? But you can, I mean, Tom Ferry or any of the other ones, these prompts need to be really specific though. The prompt, look how long this prompt is. It has tasks, rules, roles, and strategies. Like you really had to give it some really important prompts so it follows the rules that you maintain. What I did yesterday while playing, learning this, I told it, I want you to, from now on, to act as a text-based role-playing game where you will give me a scenario with a list of options, and then I will respond with what option I want you to do. You will update the response with a new scenario. And I was a guy in a woods fighting dragons. Like straight up, it was amazing. We went through a whole text-based, like, yeah, well, I mean, that was the reason I really wanted to have the class. The idea is like, you can use ChatGPT in a really rudimentary way, which is write me an email, write me a blog post. Those were all great things for us as real estate agents, right? But I wanted to show you some of these other high level things that how technically detailed you could get in order for you to like really improve yourself and improve your business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's basically it. The rest of the stuff in here, it's really long. But there are just tons and tons of different prompts in the back about the life-changing like prompts where you want it to act as a certain way, right? You want to give it data, which there's a bunch of examples in there. You want to give it data to say, we want you to act this specific way from this point forward, and we want to have a conversation with you. So, great, let's work on that. Can you tell me a little bit more about your current behavior and attitudes towards work? What motivates you to work? And what challenges do you currently face in staying motivated? I can't seem to get out of bed and make my phone calls. You know, I'm highly motivated when I'm working with clients, right? So I'm highly motivated when I'm working actively with new clients, but when I don't have any clients, I'm struggling with staying motivated to acquiring those clients. Right? I see. It sounds like you're very driven by the thrill of work. Yes, I am. That's straight up knowing. Right. So, and the sense of accomplishment that comes with acquiring them, but you don't have any clients, that sense of purpose and motivation can dwindle. Let's take a closer look at your attitude towards acquiring new clients specifically, right? Do you feel confident in your abilities to attract new clients, or do you have negative beliefs or doubts about your capabilities? Like, this will literally change the way we do business if we utilize it properly. I know it sounds braggish, I get it. And it's just one of those things where you can, right? There's one of those things where you can fact check things. You see a post online you think's bogus, put it in there and be like, fact check this for me. Why not? Before you post it, right? At least, and then you can go to Google and verify OpenAI fact checked it correctly. It may say something pretty simple like this content, this information's too new and we can't fact check because it's blah, blah, blah. But if it's some silly statement about Pearl Harbor that didn't happen, like aliens were involved, you could probably get that fact checked, right? Does anybody have any questions? Because that's about it.
Like mind blowing. It's really cool.
Yeah, I basically use it. Anybody online? No questions? I somehow got rid of this thing, so I can't see anybody.
We did,
learning resource.
I got a question.
Yeah,
So
great.
I might want to try and use it to, create a good Google pay-per-click ad, like try and get bang for your buck. If you get real super specific about the market, like I'm trying to target people looking for homes in Bowie High School district, like does it get, how smart is it relative to super niche markets about that?
Yeah, so it's as smart as the data that you input, right? So, and it's not going to do things that are like new communities being built. But if you have a particular niche that you're trying to like, or niche, I don't know which way to say it. If you have a
Niche, I think, yeah.
If you have a particular niche that you want to go in at, as long as you provide it the data, like give me an example. What would you want it to do?
Target home buyers in the Bowie High School district.
Yeah,
People
so,
looking for homes for a certain high school.
So this is a text-based language software. So it's not going to go find like, it's not going to go find people for you or targets particular, like what you would say, what you could ask it to be like, let's say you wanted to do a post or like a Google ad. You could say, create a Google ad that targets this area using SEO best practices, and then it will do something like that. But you would probably have to input more information into the prompt, right? Don't be afraid. It's not just one question. You can literally put 100 rules for your prompt in there. You just keep typing. So instead of pressing enter on your keyboard, you press shift enter and it'll go to a new line. So like if you say, create a Google ad. Let's see if it's going to do it. It's not going to do it anymore. Create a Google ad that targets home buyers in the Buda, Texas area. Right. And then if you press shift enter, you can go rules. Shift enter. Keep it short. Rules, keep it short. Give me some of the rules, Carlin, for targeting a home buyer.
Target first home buyer.
Make it first time home buyers. Any other ideas for rules that y'all can see?
Proximity to location, like Austin.
Uh,
I don't know, that might be.
Since we're saying we do
Yeah.
that.
yeah, I could change it to Austin and then like, whatever.
Oh,
But like, so you could do it like this and you can throw in a list of rules and then, oh, well, sorry, hang on. We had a malfunction here. We're still talking to Tony. about our stuff. Let's go to new chat. So this will be something that a Google ad that targets home buyers in Buda, Texas. Here's your Google ad. This is a base start, but it doesn't it's not going to go out and target those particular things. Now you can say, give me a list of best SEO practices for the above Google ads. Oh, not practices, keywords.
And then,
Yeah, it's fine. Sure, here's some potential keywords, and it will just go through a list of potential keywords. And Google actually has a site now that you can go to and you can search what keywords are popping off the most. So you can cross-reference and stuff. But if you're in a hurry, it'll throw stuff. Any other questions? I'm here all day. Yeah, that's it.
That was really good. Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool tech. I need to go back and talk to Tony though. I'm having a rough. There's no water and I've gotta pee. Just kidding. That's recorded now. Sorry. All right, guys. I got nothing else. If y'all don't have any more. Oh, wait. For the rules, strategies, we have one more question. Oh, let me answer both of these. Actually, I'm so sorry. Where are some more learning resources? All right. The best thing I can say to you is I spent several days getting ready for this class, going to YouTube, and everybody is just the videos of YouTube aren't there yet. This is new technology. Everybody's popping in to have their quick 5-10 minute click view thing, and they'll show you the exact same things we went over in this class. And they'll say 5 greatest things that a real estate agent can use. And the first thing is the listing descriptions. For whatever reason, real estate agents across the entire country decided that this was God because it could do listing descriptions. It does so much more, but that's what we're stuck on. Including like news people picked it up all across the country that real estate agents are using ChatGPT to write listing descriptions. And I'm like, it's not that exciting.
No.
It's pretty simple. That's a simple task, right? So to answer your questions, I would ask ChatGPT where the best learning resources to use your software, because there's not a whole lot out there. Tom Ferry had a good video. ROG, we have a 45-minute training video over ChatGPT that I watched and incorporated into this. So, well, like just best practices for SEO, like you use ChatGPT. Ask her the questions. Like, I want to know how. Yeah, you would ask ChatGPT, and then, but also you can very much just ask her, I want you to explain, you can ask her, like, explain it like I'm 5, right? How SEO works. And then you can say, explain it like I'm a college graduate, how SEO works. And you can read both those responses and it'll give you a basic idea, but it'll also prompt you for more questions. Maybe it's going to tell you something about SEO and it'll like break down, and you can ask it a more particular question about that, right? So we can try that here in a sec if you want to. I just want to make sure everybody, I want to answer this last question for rules, strategies, etc. How, etc. on how to guide ChatGPT. Yeah, so again, it's just a language model and it only works with the available. If you want it to do something super specific, it's actually still work for you to do, right? So like if you want it to do a listing description, and you want it to have rules and strategies, you have to specifically say, write a listing description about 123 Main Street. The rules to follow, highlight, you may say something like highlight these features, and then strategies. Use these strategies like power word strategies or maybe the SWOT analysis strategy to input whatever data. So if without a specific example for what you're asking for, I don't really know how to answer the question because I don't know what you want to inquire about, right? So if you had an example you wanted to give me.
So there's another class on the platform.
Yeah, but it's same thing. So. Yeah, and I don't know if she's gonna respond. So the question was attached to the previous got you. Where are you learning? Where are more learning races? So let's just ask ChatGPT because it's a good question. Give me some learning resources for the use of ChatGPT in creative ways. Oh, we don't even need that really, right?
It won't know that, 'cause it's so new.
Yeah, it may not. We're gonna find out though.
Something. Water is still down, guys.
So here are some learning resources that can help you understand the use of chat and GPT models. Chatbot Academy, Chatbot Design and Development Guide, Chatbot Design Patterns, Chatbot Magazine, Conversational AI Community. So if you want to learn about AI chatbots, there's some resources for you. I mean, I literally use it for Google most of the time because I don't like the ads, right? So when I asked it about the National Highway Traffic Safety for my argument on Reddit, I asked her to share me with the link to where she got the resources, and I was able to go directly to the website. So, yeah. Yeah, that's it. We are going to end hour and a half. Thanks for bearing with me. It's a lot of info.
That was
So,
so good. It's really good. It was really good.
all right. Bye, guys. Hopefully that answered your question. It's best I could do.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
You know how to end the meeting, right?
No, I'm gonna just stop screen share and then click in.
Yeah.
I don't want to like mess up the recording,
no.
so just press in.